in 4 seasons of doing this show, we have seen every kind of eating disorder that you can imagine. Now, I don't know if y'all remember this, but there was a woman who ate cigarette ashes. Y'all remember her? Yeah, y'all watched the Tyra show. Y'all like, yeah, I remember that. And do you remember that she loved them so much that she would use them as an ice cream topping? Somebody's repeating, like saying it before I even say it. And then there was a woman that pumped her own stomach. Remember her? Yes. She pumped her own stomach. She would actually put a tube down her throat and it would like pump the food out. I was like, that is so, so crazy. But Lanika, Daria, and Kirsten are eating things that will totally shock you as well. We did those other shows and we got emails and phone calls about so many other things, and these 3 girls wrote me. Check this out.
We wanted to see these unique appetites in action. Jean's commitment to a green lifestyle is a little less than appetizing.
I dumpster dive about 2 or 3 times a week. In general, you just kind of feel around, smell around. I don't just eat things right out of the garbage. Like, I definitely go and inspect it. If you see a bunch of trash, it's probably a bunch of trash. Someone just threw out the bread inventory. It smells pretty good. Shrimp dumplings. Looks delicious. This is October 3rd, but it's pasteurized, it's cottage cheese. Like, I'm not gonna eat this good-looking pineapple right now, but when I get it home, I'm gonna look at it, rinse it off a little bit. Basically, I like to eat stuff that you can see is like self-contained, or is in a container, or is pasteurized. You wouldn't believe this, Tyra, but if you came out here dumpster diving with me, I'd get you the best dinner you'd ever had in New York City.
Kirsten is a school teacher who has a craving that started in the classroom.
The secret is I like to eat chalk dust. Not biting the chalk, but I like for it to be crunched up. So let's get the smaller piece. If we can push it on up. Okay, that's a good little amount. I scoop it up on my finger and I lick it off my finger. I've never told anyone, not even my husband or my family. I've always kept it a secret because I was very ashamed of it, and I thought people would judge me and think that I'm crazy. And I'm educated, I'm smart, so I never understood what the cravings were, and I tried to just control it. I never even told I'm pregnant, I have a midwife, and I wasn't completely honest with them about my cravings.
Lanika's odd eating habits have become life-threatening.
I have to carry this bag around because it has all my belongings in it. And one of my belongings is toilet paper. I have to show you, Tyra. This is what I chew on. Like, this whole roll will probably be gone in less than 2 weeks. And this is how I consume it. Then once that's done, I close my bag back up.
Okay, so we're gonna start with Kirsten, and she is 6 months pregnant.
Yes.
6 months pregnant and eating chalk.
Yes.
Okay, so when did it start, the craving for the chalk?
The craving for the chalk and other things started in 2004 when I was first pregnant. I've always had a fetish of playing in dirt and playing in sand, but the actual craving to eat something started when I was pregnant. And first it was baby powder, actually. Baby powder with cornstarch.
Okay, I've heard that on the show before. We had somebody that ate
pour it in my hand and lick it. And then with me being a teacher, whenever I started cleaning my boards, I got this urge to play in the dust, and then I had this craving to taste it, and I liked it.
Do you have the craving to taste it when you're teaching, like when the kids are there and you're writing?
No, because I'm very ashamed of it, and it's a huge secret, not anymore, but no, I always wait till my off period or my conference period or after school. I never let anyone see me doing it.
But I understand that there's something else that Kirsten has eaten as well. Check this out.
Okay, one of the things I like to clean with the most is Comet, because I love the smell, and especially a fresh can, I'll pop it open and just smell it. Then if I'm cleaning the sink, I'll pour it in my hand instead of just pouring it directly, and I'll play with it like this, switch it around and sprinkle it out in the sink like that. And whatever I don't need, because I don't want to waste it, I put it right back on top of the can, and I do that. Then I scoop it back in. And when I do this, I know that the vapors are in the air, and I know I can smell it better. I just smell it again, and I can start to clean.
Okay, so you weren't eating it there, but you have tasted it and eaten it.
I have tasted it one time.
Comment.
And I knew that it was dangerous to me, so I just drank a lot of water right afterwards, and I didn't like it. Luckily, I did not like it, so I never tasted it again. But I do love to smell it, and I guess the craving is from. I guess if you can compare it to when you're walking past a bread shop and you smell the bread and you want to eat the bread. It's like the smell is what made me want to actually taste it.
Were you pregnant?
Yes, I was. Yes, I was.
You were pregnant when you tasted it?
Yes, I was.
Wow. When did you realize, oh my God, I have a baby inside of my stomach and I could kill my baby?
Right away.
Right away.
That is why I ingested like probably half a gallon of water right afterwards to dilute or wash out any poisons I might have put in myself, because I was, like I said, the initial tasting was almost subconscious. I didn't even realize what I was doing. And when I realized it, I was like, I just took in some bleach. Lord, let me, fix this.
Okay. We also have Daria here, and you are the scab eater.
Yeah.
So, like, if you hurt yourself and you skin your knee or something, do you get happy because you know a scab is going to come?
No, I don't really eat it from anywhere on my body other than my head, because it's easiest to hide there.
How do you get scabs in your head?
I would scratch them. It started in high school. Around that time, I was also a vegetarian, and I thought it might have been because I wasn't getting enough protein. But I think it's just a nervous habit that I have.
Okay, we're going to get back to you in a little bit, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but when she said that she eats her scabs and she's a vegetarian, I thought, not a vegetarian, right? Because that's like meat. That's like cannibalism, kind of, in a way. Okay, and then we have Lanika. And Lanika, you're eating toilet paper. I have to ask you this. When you go to the bathroom and you're sitting there and you finish, and you use the toilet paper, do you eat it there when you're sitting on the toilet? Not the one you wiped, but not the one you wiped, but after you finish, do you eat the toilet paper while you're there?
Yeah, like when I'm sitting on the toilet, I eat the toilet paper as I'm doing my business, and then even afterwards, I like sit there for like 20 minutes and eat the toilet paper. And it'd be long sheets, so.
On the toilet, you're sitting there and eating the toilet paper.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of anything like this in your entire life? Woo, we'll be right back. Women on this show today are obsessed with eating things that you could not pay most people to try. Now, Kirsten says that she cannot stop eating chalk, she eats dirt, baby powder, and she's even tried Comet when she was 6 months pregnant. Now we're getting to Daria. And Daria says that she eats her own scabs.
That's right.
Okay, so people don't normally get scabs in their head, and you say that you eat the scabs in your head.
So I scratch them out.
So did you originally just have one that happened from an accident, and then you continue to have it there, or?
No, I don't remember how they started. I just remember always scratching my head, and that would make more, and I would pick those out. And I don't remember them ever healing.
They don't heal because you continue to scratch them.
Yeah.
Your mom always says if you have a scab, right, don't touch the scab because you want it to heal. Don't touch the scab. Yeah. Do you notice when you pick them? Is it when you're stressed, or?
Yeah, it's my outlet for when I'm stressed or having a rough time. It brings me comfort and relief.
So tell me about being a vegetarian but eating your own flesh. That I don't understand.
It didn't even click with me that I was actually eating my flesh. And I guess I was cheating on my vegetarianism for 4 years.
And I heard that you say that it's wasteful if you throw the scab away?
Yeah, I mean, I would pick them out and I'd store them in my nail for later because...
Wait, you store them in your nail?
Yeah, for later.
Because it was a waste to throw them away. It's a waste to, like, you know how we girls were just waiting somewhere on the bus stop or at work or whatever, and you're like, and yes, I used to be on the bus stop, y'all, so don't be like, I used to ride the bus every single day to school. And you picking your nails, and like, so you don't pick your nails because the scab is there for a later meal or a later.
Yeah.
What do they taste like?
They taste kind of chewy and salty.
Salty.
Yeah, kind of irony too.
And kind of
like
irony.
blood.
Okay. And so do you pick your scalp because it's easier to hide? Because you can have this and your whole scalp could be full of scabs and people wouldn't know.
Yeah, that's exactly why I pick my scalp, so no one sees it.
And does your scalp bleed a lot? Do you have bloody scalp?
I have a few that bleed, and the blood actually sticks to my hair, and it turns kind of powdery. So, and sometimes I'd pick that out too.
Tell me about you saying that you put time aside in your day to pick the scabs. Like, I put time aside in my day to check my email, right? So you put time aside in your day to pick the scabs? Like, you set like appointments with yourself?
No, not like that exactly. I mean, I'd be sitting and reading, and just my hands would just go to my head, and I'd sit there for maybe 20 minutes to do this, but I wouldn't like mark it on my calendar.
Okay.
Scab picking.
Okay. All right. Does anybody know about this in your life?
I've never told this to anybody. A few people have caught me, maybe saw me. No, it's really embarrassing.
See, the picking of the scabs is normal. I think a lot of us like pick our scabs. You're not supposed to, right? But we do. Like, and then it doesn't heal as much, especially if you have darker skin. It'll like kind of hyperpigment, which means it'll turn that spot a little darker from picking the scab. But what I haven't heard of is eating the scab. Okay, you have a friend here. Her name is Erica. Hi, Erica. Stand on up. So you, the first time you saw her picking her scabs and eating it, what did you think?
I thought maybe it was just a fluke, like a one-time thing, but then I saw her do it again and put something in her mouth, and I confronted her about it. She told me about it.
And she told you about it. And what did you think as her friend? What did you worry about?
Honestly, I was just immediately kind of concerned about it. It seemed kind of like self-destructive. So, yeah, I'm a little concerned about it, honestly.
Do you think that there's maybe she's hurting inside and this is a form of like...
Yeah, it could. Yeah. I think that's a possibility.
Does anybody have any questions for Daria about the scabs?
My name is Cachet.
Cachet, I like that name. What's your question?
My question is, do your parents know about what you eat?
About how I eat scabs or just my diet? My mom's caught me once, and she just joked about it, like that's what monkeys do.
Your mom said that's what monkeys do?
Yeah.
Oh, because how they pick on each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no.
What about dating? When you're dating, do you tell the person that you're dating? Do they see that you do this, or do you keep it from the people that you date?
I keep it from the people that I date.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you dating somebody now?
No.
Okay. All right, we'll be right back. Daria, Lanika, and Kirsten, and they all say that they cannot control their need to eat things like scabs and chalk dust, Comet, and toilet paper. So Lanika here, she's eats the toilet paper. And I heard that you tell my producers that you feel like an addict. Like, what kind of addict do you feel like?
Well, you know how people have their own addictions and they do drugs or they're addicted to alcohol. Well,
you said like a crack addict. That's what you told them. Wow.
Yes.
I mean, you know, when we think about a crack addict, we think like,
like they hide and go do stuff.
really, really very aggressive, very like they cannot control it, and it just has totally transformed them from who they used to be. So that's how you feel about your addiction with toilet tissue.
Yes.
Okay, so when did you first like look at toilet tissue and say, I want to eat that?
Well, it all started when I was younger. And
how old?
Like 12 or 13.
Okay.
And it was past me and my brother's bedtime, and my mother wouldn't let us go down for water. So me and my brothers, we went into the bathroom and we put the water on the toilet tissue and began to sucking it. And I guess I kind of became an addict to it then.
Really? So
Yes.
it tasted good?
Yes.
Was it scented?
No.
I'm not trying to laugh, y'all. Y'all are laughing. But I'm just curious. I'm thinking, because, like, you know, they have the different scents. And these days, they're doing all different types of scents. So I'm thinking that maybe that's what it was. So it wasn't like a flavor.
No.
Okay, so now tell me about the craving. Like, you're sitting there and, like, on the toilet, actually, and you crave the taste. How does it feel like in your mouth and going down your throat? Because you're not sucking on it anymore. You're actually swallowing it.
Yes. Like toilet paper, you know, as it goes down the drain, it dissolves in the water. So it kind of dissolves in my mouth. And when it does, like when it's kind of blocking my airway, and then I swallow it. I like that, and I like the feeling on my tongue.
So it blocks your airway?
Yes.
And you like that?
Yes.
Why do you like to make it feel like you're not breathing?
It's not so much as making it feel like I'm not breathing. It's just I don't know how to explain it, but it's just the feeling, period.
It feels good.
Right.
Okay. So earlier you said that you eat toilet paper on the toilet. When you're sitting on the toilet, while you're using the bathroom, while you're doing number 1 and number 2, you eat the toilet paper.
Yes.
And then you sit there for 20 minutes after and eat it?
My legs get numb and everything.
My legs get numb and I'm just sitting there going to the toilet sometimes. So I can only imagine you like sitting there even longer.
Yeah.
Who knows about this in your life?
Well, I just recently told like everybody.
Yeah?
Yes.
And what was their response?
Well, they crack jokes and make fun of me, but they seriously want help from me.
They want help, okay.
Yes.
And how much do you eat a day?
I eat like a half a roll a day.
A half a roll a day. And how much do you eat a week?
Like 4 rolls.
Oh my gosh. Tell me about the stomach pain you've been having.
Well, when I was younger, when I was eating it a lot, my stomach was stopped up. Like I couldn't go to the bathroom or anything like that. And I became very, very weak. So my mom took me to the hospital, and come to find out my intestines was stopped up. Like it was so severe. And they told me that I came in on time, or I would have been like really sick.
You would have been sick. So see, that's so funny to me because you said that, well, Tyra, the toilet paper, it dissolves in the toilet and it dissolves in my mouth. But it's not dissolving in your intestines. It's getting stopped up.
Right.
Your roommate is here. Your roommate, LaToya. Hi, LaToya.
Hi.
So how long has she gone without going to the bathroom, without doing number 2?
It was like a month. Yeah.
A month?
Yeah.
A month of not going to do number 2?
It's hard. It's like I have to like do a laxative to make myself use it.
Yeah. I've heard of people not going for like 5-6 days and having to be rushed to the hospital for that. But a month? I'm surprised that you're still here alive and did not go to the bathroom for a month. Wow. Okay, with us now is Dr. Shri Kamanduri. He's a stomach doctor who can shed some light on what all these ladies are doing and what it's doing to their bodies. But first, I want to ask you about, you pulled 10 pounds of something from a woman's stomach, and it was all over the news. It like made headlines. What did you pull 10 pounds of from a woman's stomach?
So this was it actually turned out to be a giant hairball. And
a hairball.
This was a young.
That's hair?
That's hair.
All compacted?
Yeah. This was a young girl who actually came to see us for just having abdominal pain, and her outside doctor had done an x-ray where they thought they saw a big growth in the stomach. When we looked at the x-ray, it actually looked like a foreign body. So subsequently we did a test where we looked with a camera into the stomach called an endoscopy, and this is what we saw. It was so large we had to send her for surgery, and they removed it. And subsequently she did well. She went on to have some behavioral therapy on controlling the underlying
to help her with eating her hair. Would she pull it out of her scalp and eat it?
Yeah, so it was just a very repetitive behavior where she would not even think about it, and she'd be
That's like the shape of a stomach. You guys see that? Doesn't it remind you of like an anatomical shape? Okay, so what are these girls, are they going through the same exact thing that the person that did the hair, eating the hair, went through?
You know, I think, first of all, one thing that's important for us to distinguish is there are things that are eating disorders that we normally consider things like anorexia and bulimia. On the other end, there are things like eating habits that we would call unusual, which fall into these types of situations. More importantly, it's really important for us as physicians, as family, as friends, to not look at it as strange, as bizarro, as weird, because in actuality, it probably represents underlying physiological or psychological disorder that's going on. And more importantly, our focus should be on trying to figure out what that is and how we can help them.
What do you think about Daria with the eating of the scabs?
So in the situation of a scabs, that would be a little different than the other two, and that's usually an extension from something we call an obsessive-compulsive type of personality. So you've heard of OCD and that type of thing, and it's important, again, to recognize that because we have to get her to the right therapy.
So she needs to get the help for that. And then Kirsten? With the chalk.
And the chalk, when we talk about the chalk and we also talk about the toilet paper, there's a condition that's called pica. And pica is when we tend to eat things we normally don't consider as food in large amounts for an extended period of time. Now, there are normal physiological conditions like pregnancy that can lead to that, which resolve after pregnancy. but it can also be a sign of underlying significant nutritional deficiency like iron loss, and it can also be a sign of a neurological or psychiatric condition. That's why it's really important for us to identify it and get them
and it's
treatment.
important that you guys are speaking today because so many people have your issue, but they're scared to talk about it. So you're very brave. And we've arranged for Kirsten to get some help. The Cadwalder Behavioral Clinic right outside of Houston, outside of your hometown, is going to help you with your disorder because you have a baby inside of your stomach.
Thank you, Tyra.
And they've heard of that. And I'm so happy that you came here. I'm so happy that you tasted that comment, but put it down because you
Yes.
understand that there's a life inside of you.
Right.
That wants to help your mom. We've also arranged for Daria and Lanika to get professional help in your hometowns, too. So this is no longer going to be a problem that you have to live with. And I know your roommate, I heard that she said that she's tired of the toilet paper being gone, right? That's what I heard, and you want her to get some help so that you ain't have to be like, where's the toilet paper? Can somebody get the toilet paper? All right, we'll be right back. Good luck to you guys, okay? We've met women who have absolutely no power over their need to eat bizarre non-food items like toilet paper, chalk dust, Comet, and even scabs on their body. But we're about to meet people who say that their unusual eating habits are ones that they have freely chosen. Check this out.
Jean's commitment to a green lifestyle is a little less than appetizing.
I dumpster dive about 2 or 3 times a week. In general, you just kind of feel around, smell around. I don't just eat things right out of the garbage. Like, I definitely go and inspect it. If you see a bunch of trash, it's probably a bunch of trash. But someone just threw out the bread inventory. It smells pretty good. Shrimp dumplings. Looks delicious. This is October 3rd, but it's pasteurized. It's cottage cheese. Like, I'm not gonna eat this good-looking pineapple right now, but when I get it home, I'm gonna look at it, rinse it off a little bit. Basically, I like to eat stuff that you can see is like self-contained, or is in a container, or is pasteurized. You wouldn't believe this, Tyra, but if you came out here dumpster diving with me, I'd get you the best dinner you'd ever had in New York City.
David's diet consists of things that most of us would rather step on than put in our mouths.
My name is Dave, and I eat bugs. Okay, cricket, it's a bug, insect, call it what you like. It's really not that big a deal. We have the cicadas, and they are good-sized guys with big wings, kind of like that. I've dusted mine with cinnamon this time around. These are the humble house crickets. Very popular in the pet industry for lizards and frogs and stuff. The very hard to get giant Texas flying ants. These red guys are Mexican grasshoppers from Oaxaca, and they're known as chapulines. It's sort of a culinary adventure. More than half the world eats bugs. Big ant. And when you actually look into the nutrition and the environmental impact, when you compare bugs to the things we usually eat, bugs are more nutritious, and they're actually better for planet Earth.
All right, so we've got the bug-eating man and we've got the dumpster diving lady. Let's start with dumpster diving lady Jean. So, Jean, I understand that you went to a really wealthy college. This is how it kind of started. You went to Wesleyan, which was really wealthy. Right. And what did you see happening with all these rich people?
Well, I went to school with a lot of wealthy students who, for lack of time or they're not from the area, at the end of the school year, they throw out all the stuff in their dorms. And believe me, these kids have some tricked out dorms, you know. And so all that
how did you afford the school?
Goes in the trash. I actually grew up poor and went to school mostly on scholarships.
Okay.
So, I mean, me seeing all of that stuff was a real turning point for me. And so I found myself sooner or later in the dumpster pulling out iPods, pulling out all kinds of amazing stuff.
Okay, but pulling out an iPod is different, and pulling out some old cottage cheese. So, I mean, I'd pull out the iPod. So explain how, you know, you started going for the food.
Right. So
and the food in normal, like, New York City on the street, like.
Right. So I started noticing that a lot of food got thrown away. I'd look at, once I started dumpster diving, it just sort of opened my eyes to looking around at the trash around me and starting going through bags and seeing the things like bakeries throw out lots of bread. A lot of stores throw out tons of fresh produce, and I'm a vegetarian, so it makes up a large amount of my diet.
So how much money do you save by dumpster diving?
I'd say that the average person probably spends $70 to $100 a week on food, and I spend about $15.
$15 a week on food?
That's just because I splurge on coffee, though, because I like good coffee, but...
So you buy that expensive coffee? You get a mocha laka chaka chaka, all that stuff?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay. So do you do the dumpster diving? Is it to save money? Is it to be green for our planet? Or is it just a quirk?
It's a mix of those things, I'd say. Freegans are people who are environmentally and socially conscious. Freegans, and
so you're a freegan.
Right. It's a, you know, we're environmentally conscious, but we have a sense of humor too. It's a pun on the words vegan and free.
Oh, got it.
But we're people who believe that you should be able to meet your basic needs without harming other people.
What about harming
the environment
yourself?
or animals?
Have you ever gotten sick from dumpster diving?
No, actually.
So you've never had like the whole Mona's It Was
years.
Revenge, and the at the same time from dumpster diving, ever?
Ever.
Wow.
I know Freegans who've been dumpstering for 10 years and who've never gotten sick.
Never gotten sick.
It's pretty amazing.
All right. So we're going to go to David now, the bug man.
Hi.
Hi, David. Okay, you know what's so funny is we're a culture that is used to Fear Factor. That show Fear Factor, and they open up the stuff, and they're like, $1 million, you have to eat it. And the person's like, and then they eat it.
Yep.
So we're used to that. But when we were watching you, it was shocking because you weren't forced to do it for $1 million.
Absolutely not.
So what does it taste like? Do different bugs have different tastes?
Absolutely. A lot of insects taste kind of nutty, but some taste more like bacon. Some taste more like broccoli. Some taste more like shrimp. So the fact is that there's all these different kinds of insects in the world, and they have all kinds of flavors.
Okay. So tell me, you say eating bugs is being green.
Yeah. Well, insects require very small amounts of water and food and land and time, whereas cows require a lot of water and food and land and time. So basically you're investing a lot of resources into a cow and getting a few burgers and steaks. If you invest the same amount into crickets, like a whole lot of crickets, you'll get a whole lot more food in return.
Do you cook the bugs?
Yes, always.
Oh, so they're not
Pretty
raw.
much always, yeah.
So you never have it when they're going in your mouth like creepy and
I've
crawling?
tried it live once or twice, but the fact is...
Have you ever swallowed one and it was still alive and it was crawling in your esophagus?
No. No.
Never.
If it goes in live, I make sure my teeth do the job.
Okay.
I take care of that.
You brought us some of your favorite bugs today.
Absolutely. I brought you quite a feast.
Okay, open up the feast. Okay, one looks so good on the right.
Yes.
It's nice chocolate chip cookies, right, on the right.
Well,
tell us about these cookies.
Well, these are frequently what's called chocolate chirp. So we've got the chocolate
Oh my
chips.
God, those aren't chocolate on top?
No, they are not on top. No, no. There's chocolate on the inside.
Oh my God, I thought it was
see,
chocolate.
See? No, there's your chocolate right there. That's chocolate chips. Those are crickets. There's 3 crickets per cookie.
Are those the kind of crickets that make noise?
Well, yes, yeah.
Okay, and what are these?
Well, here we have 2, 4, 6 different kinds of bugs that I brought. Cicadas, large grasshoppers, the Mexican grasshoppers, a little smaller, the ants from Texas, mealworms, and a giant water bug from Thailand.
Who wants to try the giant water bug from Thailand? We want the cookies. Oh, y'all want the cookies?
Well.
Come on up and try the cookies. Come on up.
Anyone allergic to shellfish?
Are you guys allergic to shellfish?
No. Okay.
Okay, have a seat. Why don't you have a seat between our freegan and our bug man?
Please.
I'll sit by the freegan girl. Hi, Jean. Hey. Okay. So, what's your name?
Kimberly Dalton Mitchell.
Kimberly Dalton Mitchell. And what's your name?
Monique Brown.
So, y'all want to try the bugs? Why do y'all want to eat this?
Well, I want the cookie part. I don't want the bug.
I'm not going to let you sit up here and edit around his cookie. You're going to have to eat the bug. Are you ready?
You got to eat it all.
Okay, you want to eat it?
Yes.
Okay, grab it.
Okay.
Okay. Ooh. Okay, yeah, somebody's saying there's no money. Why is she doing this? Okay, well, no, you turned it to where the biggest bug is. I want you to turn it right there. Yeah, and then I want you to wash it down with some, which one should she wash it down with? Well, I want her to wash it down with something.
Well, can she do it and not me?
Okay, you can be her support.
That looks easier.
Okay.
You go right ahead.
So you're gonna wash it down with this. I'm gonna
The
pour
whole, like a shot?
Let's bite it at the same time.
Okay, come on. Ready? Oh yeah, let's do it romantic. 1, 2,
Pull your finger.
3. Go, go. Open it. Open. Couple of those. Couple of these. Just a little bit.
I can't.
Okay.
Come on, Mo.
Come on, Mo. Come on, Mo.
No.
What does it taste like?
Tastes like a nut.
Tastes tastes like a nut?
It tastes like a chocolate chip cookie. It's not that
And
bad.
a nut. All right, well, I'm not tasting it at all. I know what you guys are thinking. I'm sorry. I eat a lot of salad. I'm sure there's a couple of bugs in the salad, right, Jean? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh, we'll be right back. Hey, so does anybody have any questions for our people, our interesting eaters here, our unique eaters? Come on over. All right, what's your name?
Anna.
Anna, what's your question?
For the lady who's pregnant, do you have any other kids that watch you eat chalk, or is this your first child?
I have, this is going to be my third son, and no one has ever seen me do anything.
Are you worried that they might pick up on that same bad habit?
I've made sure that when I was eating the baby powder out, the door would be locked. I made sure that no one, not even my husband, has ever seen me. He just found out a few days ago that I have this problem.
And your husband is here today, right?
Yes, he is.
I'm going to come on over to him. Thank you. So you just found out that your wife eats chalk.
Yes.
So how does that make you feel as her husband, and that you didn't know this was a secret that she had?
I was completely shocked. I was utterly shocked.
Yeah.
There's no words to describe. I first felt shock, and then I felt fear for her health and for the child.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately wanted to let her know that I was there for support. I wanted to help in any way I could.
Mm-hmm.
I felt kind of helpless at a point because I've never heard that before.
Mm-hmm. So that's why we're going to get her help. And you're going to go to some of the sessions with her too?
I'll be every session. Session.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Who else? Anybody else? Questions? Stand on up. Come on over. Hello. Hi. What's your name?
Callie.
Callie, what's your question?
It's for Lanika. You say you feel like a drug addict when you crave the toilet paper.
Mm-hmm.
What happens? What do you feel when you don't allow yourself to eat it?
That's a good question. Is there like a withdrawal or something,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I kind of put myself in a place outside the world, like what's going on, and when I'm eating it, I feel as it's comfort, and when I don't have that comfort, like I kind of lose it. I tend to lose it.
What's the longest you've gone without having the toilet paper?
Well, after I had found out that it was stopping up my intestines, I had stopped for a minute, like let's say a couple of months or so.
Yeah.
Then I began eating it again.
Do you eat it every single day now?
Every single day.
Every single day. Wow. Okay, this is John. Hi, John. So you have an interesting issue. You're not sure if you have a disorder or not, right?
Yeah, I'm not. But after hearing the doctor speak, I may have, I guess, a little bit of something.
What do you think?
I eat very healthy. I eat 6 to 8 meals a day, every 2 to 3 hours. But I don't consider it a diet anymore. I consider it more like a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
But there are days where if it's coming on 2 to 3 hours and I haven't gotten anything to eat or I can't get something to eat, I do get very moody or anxious. But she also talked about body image.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that's the biggest problem because
I hear that you're like going to extremes. You're like measuring your food.
yeah,
like...
I weigh everything I eat. I actually order my egg whites offline. I take a protein supplement, things like that. I measure everything out. For salad dressing, for instance, I'll use like flaxseed oil. I don't use dressings.
But you sound just healthy to me. You don't sound like you have an issue. Where do you think the issue is coming?
I think it's like when I look in,
maybe?
Yeah, I think because I am very healthy, but when I look in the mirror, I don't see what other people see. Like I go to the gym and people will be like, "Man, you look great," or "Oh, well, you trained me," and I go home and I'm like, I don't look that good.
You used to. You don't think that looks good? But tell everybody how much you used to weigh.
I used to weigh 230 pounds. I was a big dude. So.
And how much do you weigh now?
I weigh 190 right now.
Okay, so you were much heavier.
Yeah.
So your issue is probably more psychological. But do you think you have body dysmorphic? Do you know what that is?
No, I don't know what it is.
Body dysmorphic disorder is you look in the mirror and you see something that is not there.
Right.
You see like a heavy person when you have all these abs. You can't see the abs. There's something in your brain that's stopping that.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that you should look up and investigate.
All right.
Yeah. All right. But you're also healthy at the same time. Okay, we'll be right back. I've heard about some pretty intense eating disorders today, and I'm not sure I'm going to be looking at a roll of toilet paper the same ever again, or a dumpster, right? But joining us is a woman who says that we have not covered the most bizarre eating disorder of all. This is Valerie Frankel. She's the author of Thin is the New Happy. Stand on up, Valerie. So the most bizarre eating disorder of all is what?
It's dieting, Tyra.
Dieting.
It's something that we all do and we can't get away from, and I think it's the most emotionally and physically damaging eating disorder that we all have.
So you think it's more than I wouldn't say dumpster diving is an eating disorder, but you say it's worse than the chalk?
I think that it's something that is emotionally devastating. If you're a chronic dieter your whole life and you ride those highs and lows of dieting, it has a cumulative effect and it makes you feel terrible about yourself.
You saw some really interesting dieting when you were at different magazines, at Mademoiselle magazine, which was a really important fashion magazine that no longer exists. I used to actually model for them.
Right, I remember when you were on the cover.
Oh, cool. So tell me about the things in the offices there that you would see of the different editors.
Well, a lot of the people on a fashion magazine want to be slim for their job security. And so you had a staff of people who would eat, say, only grapes or jelly beans. There was one woman who had this ritual about drinking a laxative tea twice a day, and she would drink her tea, and then she would have to excuse herself to go to the bathroom. And the crazy thing about it was that we all admired her so much because she was so active and she was so
the discipline you guys admired.
Discipline.
Wow. So tell me about you. You feel like you had an addiction to this dieting, like it was a drug for you.
Dieting is an addiction like any other addiction. If you're not doing it, you feel out of sorts and confused, and it's like you have to do the next diet because you're chasing that same high that people chase when they're on a drug addiction of losing weight.
You said your first success was like a hit of crack when you would lose weight. What
Yes.
does that mean?
Well, if I
That's pretty
lost weight, I
intense.
felt such an incredible surge of confidence and self-esteem because I felt, okay, now I'm thin. But then what happens is that the weight comes back on because we all know diets don't work. And then you feel just as horrible as you felt high from the thing. You just feel shame and guilt and regret and a failure.
Tell me about your daughters. You have 2 daughters now, and
I do.
know you're not focusing on your weight, especially when you're in the house with them.
Well, I wrote the book Thin is the New Happy because I felt like I had to take care of my body image issues once and for all so that I could be a better role model to my daughters, because honestly I would rather die than have them grow up as chronic dieters, hating their bodies, not feeling comfortable in their skin. So my whole goal was to combat this horrible body image problem, stop dieting, think positive thoughts about myself, and role model it for my daughters.
That is just what I stand for.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you for being here. We'll be right back. That some of you have been really shocked or maybe even disgusted by what today's guests were eating. And I know that there are a lot of you guys out there who are dealing with eating issues of your own. So if you want to help or if you want more information about your not so normal eating habit, go to tyrashow.com and I'll see you later. And now Fergie is going to sing for me. Tyra. Yeah.